Good morning everyone, I'm Blair Harvey from House on the Hill Homestay, also known as The Naturalist. Today I'm going to be talking about electrolyte drinks. I've been serving these to my clients for the last 15 years at the health retreat where I ran the kitchen and worked as the naturopath. And one of the most common questions I'd often receive would be, why do we need to drink these fruit waters, and why am I going to the toilet less when I drink these rather than just drinking water? Well, the best answer is a little bit of education. So to start, electrolyte drinks have been around a very long time, and there's a basic recipe for them, and that is sea salt, which supplies the 92 minerals. Himalayan rock salt is fine, but you'll find it's only half the amount of minerals as your sea salt. Stay away from your normal table salt, that's just 2 minerals, sodium chloride and an anti-caking agent. Normal table salt is more a synthetic product than a natural product, so avoid that. The second component I use is whey, so I use the liquid drained off my yogurt, which if you look at my yogurt recipe from last week, you'll find that on my site, www.blairharvey.org. The third component is fruit. Now, fruit typically supplies you with some fruit sugars, but also some vitamins, namely vitamin C if you look at the citrus family. So that is a very good base for the electrolyte drink. This, however, has been very expensive to make on commercial basis. So what you'll find is these companies now mimic the typical natural ingredients found in nature, and they use table salt. Possibly they'll add a few minerals in to make it look good. They will use artificial flavors, artificial dyes. After all, the blue colors and the reds and the yellows and the greens do sell more than something that is just plain. And then they will use artificial sweeteners. Now these artificial sweeteners come off genetically engineered corn syrup, and you will find pretty much all of your soft drinks that you buy from a shop are made on these. If they aren't, if they're the low sugar kind, they will normally be made on aspartame, and you'll find that is a synthetic ingredient and very dangerous for you. In fact, pilots in the States are warned not to drink these products prior to flying because it can bring on epilepsy and sudden drops in blood sugar. Now, the way we're going to make this today, I'm going to show you some of the basic ingredients. There's something that I found really interesting was in a recent study they tested the hydration of several drinks to see which ones would basically work better for the body, hydrate you quicker and hydrate you longer. They showed that your typical freshly squeezed juice, orange juice, rule number 1, and then your other juices, outweighed and outperformed all the synthetic Powerades, Gatorades, or their similar drinks. Number 1 was milk. Milk's not very functional though. Milk's not a typical drink you'd take to the workplace and drink, and it's also not something that tends to work too well around workouts because it can make you feel a bit queasy. But I would suggest a glass of it around breakfast, lunch or dinner if you could, and you found yourself dehydrated. Also raw foods will pick up your hydration. Number 2 was the juice. So I'm going to show you how to convert that orange juice into something that performs better than the number 1, the milk, but also you'll find that is more complete. Okay. Now, who's this good for? Well, labourers, for a start, are outside, and especially in Australian weather, it's very hot. Office workers don't often drink enough, and you'll find if you're at the gym or you're involved in endurance athletics, you'll find it's really good because I'm going to give you an alternative that's actually going to slow release the water over time, and that's by adding a certain food. Now, a little bit why water doesn't hydrate you as well as these drinks. For a start, what happens basically when you are sweating on a hot day is you lose your water, and you'll find if you tend to lose too much water, what's going to happen is the salinity of your blood is going to become more concentrated. Then what will happen is your body will try to remain in homeostasis to keep you alive and well, so it's going to excrete higher amounts of salt than it normally would. Then you'll find your salinity of your blood is back to a nice range, and if you were to suddenly drink water then, what will happen is it would dilute your blood down. So what your body does in response is wear it out. Now, this is a major concern, and it's such a concern that the English Society has set up a hydration special club, as you would call it, to monitor athletes and make sure they do not die during endurance events, as this has happened in the last few years. So, how do we get around it? Well, to start with, if we add some salt or some minerals back into the water, and I'm not talking much, 1 pinch, which is 1/8 of a teaspoon per litre you're drinking a day, you find your body will take in the water with the salt, and you'll find the salinity won't change. And that is how you become more hydrated. As well as a little bit of pre-digested amino acids in my drink and some fruit, we're going to make the real thing, and this is something you will not want to miss. Let's get into it. Welcome back to my second cooking demo. This one is on how to make an electrolyte drink. This will be the most hydrating electrolyte drink out there. Now, initially, I've cut an orange and I will juice that. So roughly I want about 3/4 of a cup. If you have a slow juicer, perfect. Or if you are short of time, you can always buy a freshly squeezed juice from the supermarket. Now, in this electrolyte drink, we're using orange juice. The reason we're using orange juice is it is the most hydrating of all drinks, second to milk, but you'll find if you would have milk during a workout, it will probably fill you up and it might make you feel a bit queasy. So orange juice is a lot lighter. Now, to this orange juice, we add 2 pinches of Celtic sea salt. So with the Celtic sea salt, it has about 90 minerals in it. So we're going to use our mineral-rich sea salt. Now, if you've watched my first video on making Greek yogurt, you'll find once we strained it, and the bottom of the bowl was whey. Now, whey is a very, very easy to digest protein. It is broken up into its basic amino acids when it's fermented. So this one here is a very easily digested fermented protein, and what we do is we will pour that into the orange juice. So now we have a vitamin C enriched juice. Added to it we have the whey, and we also have all the minerals of the Celtic sea salt. And that's it. That's it in a glass. Now, if you drink that before any workout, it will hydrate you quicker. If you drink it during a workout, it will hydrate you faster, and you'll find you will retain more of the liquid. The secret of any electrolyte drink is the probiotics and the whey and the amino acids, giving it some protein, the sea salt, and of course the vitamin C in the oranges, as well as a little bit of fruit sugar that also helps you absorb the water longer. I would just like to add, if you are an endurance athlete and you're wanting something to hydrate you a little bit longer, because you'll find in its juice form it will absorb quite quickly, even though it hydrates you longer, to drag that out and sustain you over a longer period of exercise, put in a teaspoon of your chia seeds. These chia seeds, when they hydrate after they've been sitting in there for about half an hour, will absorb up to 100 times their weight in the liquid. And what you'll find is they will, as they're passing through the digestive system, will slow release. So there you will create a slow release electrolyte drink. Okay, now I like to use a Stanley. Out of all the flasks I've ever used, these are by far the best. And if I pour it into my Stanley, this will keep cold up to 2 days. Okay, these can be purchased online. Anyone seriously interested in hydration, I recommend the Stanley. And it has a double function. You can put a cold beer in there, and maybe you want a gin and tonic, and this open vessel, and you'll find that will keep cold for up to 2 days. So if I was to leave that and I'm out drinking at a party and I've taken that, you'll find I can come back in an hour or two, it's still cold, it's still basically very, very, very fizzy. So that works better than any stubby holder, and that's Stanley flasks. So if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, please comment below, share with friends, or if you have any questions, make sure that you email me. You'll find my website and contact details on www.blairharvey.org, as well as my recipes, my ebooks, and all my health articles. Thank you, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye.